Maraming salamat po, Ginoong Pangulo, at sa ating pinunong mayorya. Mga mahal kong kasama, mga kagalang-galang kong kasama, at mga karespeto kong mga kasama, meron po akong naiwang usapin kahapon sa ating sesyon. Tungkol po ito sa asal o decorum ng isa sa ating kasamahan. Kaya naman, muli po akong humingi ng pagkakataon na makapagsalita ukol dito upang ipaalala at bigyang diin ang ating mga alituntunin dito sa Senado. Naniniwala po ako na mahalagang mapanatili natin ang respeto, paggalang at kaayusan sa bawat pagdinig at talakayan. Ayon po sa ating rules, ang sabi po dyan, Section 93, Rule number 34, Unparliamentary Acts and Language. Ang sabi po dyan, acts and language which offend a senator or any public institution shall be deemed unparliamentary. Sa wikang Pilipino, ang mga kilos at pananalitang nakakasama ng loob sa isang senador o alinmang pampublikong institusyon ay itinuturing na hindi naaayon sa kagandahang asal ng parlamentaryo. Malinaw po na sutuntunin na ito ng Senado na anumang kilos at pananalitang nakakasama ng loob sa isang senador o sa alinmang pagpampublikong institusyon ay hindi katanggap-tanggap. Bilang sanggunian, ipapakita ko po sa inyo ang isang video ni Senador Kiko Pangilinan kung saan makikita ang isang mainit na palitan sa pagitan niya at ng isa pang nating senador at ngayon ay Senate President bilang halimbawa ng kontekstong aking tinutukoy.
Pwede mo ba sabihin sa anak mo, anak, pag mali sila, gumawa ka na rin ng mali. Anak, okay lang mangbastos kasi mas bastos sila eh. Anak, okay lang magbully kasi mas bully sila. Ako, hindi ko sasabihin yon. Ako, sasabihin ko,
at hindi yun ang sinasabi.
hindi, yun ang sinasabi mo, Mr. President, and I'm
No,
not yet
Mr.
finished.
President,
Kasi
of course
you said, tama
We
si
beg to
Tariela.
disagree,
Mr.
Mr.
President, I'm not yet finished. No?
Well, we beg to
So,
disagree.
Mr. President, this is the question. The resolution,
Ayun po, nakita po natin na napakagandang halimbawa na ilang beses pong gustong magsalita ni Senator Kiko Pangilinan na hindi dumaan sa tamang procedure na hindi binanggit ang Mr. President. Pumapasok po siya sa usapan, ngunit naging magalang ang Senator Alan Peter Cayetano sa mabuting pananalita. Sinabi po niyang, I'm not finished. Kahapon po, nakita po natin ang pangbubulyaw ng ating kasama. Ang sabi po nila, tayo daw po ay balat sibuyas. Hindi po yan pagiging balat sibuyas. Ito po ay nasa rules of the Senate. At ang sabi din po ng ating dating Senate President, na ito daw po ay nangyayari talaga. Nagsisigawan. Mga mahal kong kasama, kung ikaw ay nagsasabi ng iyong talumpati at ikaw ay passionate, okay lang yun. Pero para sigawan mo ang kasama mo, nasaan ang rules of the Senate? Si Ginoong Kiko Pangilinan ng ating senador ay ilang beses na pong senador. Ako po ay neophyte kung tawagin. Napakainam po sana kung pakitaan niya ako ng magandang asal at ipakita sa akin na ganito, iho, ang pagsasabi ng I'm not finished. Hindi yung I have the floor with the burning eyes and the very high voice. Ladies and gentlemen, on record po ito. Nangyari po ito on record sa Senado. Humihingi po siya ng pag-abot ng kamay sa akin, hindi na on record. Paano ko po tatanggapin ng kamay niya? Ginawa niya yan on record. Kaya sana po, hinihingi po natin bilang pakikiisa sa aking dasal na siya ay, kung siya talaga ay nais niyang mag-abot ng kamay, on record. Sabihin niya mismo sa plenaryo na siya ay nagkamali. Katulad po ng ginawa ni Senator Lacson na tumayo kanina at nagsabing siya ay nagkamali. Hindi po ito usapin ng lalabas tayo sa media at sasabihin mong balat sibuyas ako. Di tapon na natin itong rules of the Senate. Tapon na natin to. Di pa natin pala susundin eh. Mga mahal kong kasama, ang sinasabi ko dito, tanggalin natin yan sa record dahil ayokong mababasa yan ng aking mga anak at apo na ang isang Muslim senator ay sinisigaw-sigawan dito sa plenaryo. Yun lamang po. Maraming salamat po sa binigay niyong pagkakataon.
Thank you very much, Senator Robin Padilla. We recognize once again Senator Kiko Pangilinan.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, ang suggestion ko ay dahil napanood ko kagabi sa balita na nais pong magsampa ng ethics case laban sa atin na si Senator Robin Padilla. So ang suggestion ko, isampa na yung ethics case at doon na po sa ethics committee natin pag-usapan ito dahil marami pang ibang mga mas importanteng bagay sa aking paniwala ang dapat nating talakayin. Maraming salamat po. For the record, Mr. President.
Thank you very much, Senator Pangilinan. We recognize Senator Padilla once again.
Wala na po siguro mas importante kung rules of the Senate ang pinag-uusapan natin. So, ang ibig pong sabihin ba niyan na hindi kayang mahumingi ng paumanhin ng isang veteran senator? Para sa kanyang pagtaas ng boses? Yun po ba?
Nakikita ko po ang matamis ng ngiti ni Senator Kiko Pangilinan.
Napakahirap po bang sabihin nun? At kailangan pa natin umabot sa ethics?
May I suspend session first? Motion is approved.
Madam President, our distinguished Senate President, Senator Alan Peter Cayetano, would like to deliver a privileged speech. I move that he be recognized, Madam President.
We recognize Senate President Alan Peter Cayetano for his privileged speech.
Thank you, Madam President. Dear colleagues, the book of James talks about faith, and the book of James basically tells us that faith without action is dead. So, importante po ang faith, pero importante po ay kumilos tayo ayon sa ating pananampalataya. Everyone has faith. Some people have faith in money, some people have faith in relationships, some people have faith in power. But of course, I'm talking about the faith in God, the faith in our country, and the faith in each other. So, Madam President, this leadership change is an opportunity for the Senate to take the lead in areas where the ordinary Filipino feel neglected. Without pointing fingers or no condemnation for any other leader or any other Congress in the past, let me talk about how I feel people feel at this point in time. I do believe that despite our algorithms in our social media and despite the news, most people are not talking about politics. Yes, they're talking about whether they like President Marcos, VP Sara, or all the other contenders. Whenever there are surveys in the news, pinag-uusapan sinong pambato nila sa 2028. But I would say that these are more politicians and political junkies Most of our people are just trying to have a comfortable life, and more than that, just trying to exist. Yung personal safety lang, makapag-aral yung anak, madala sa ospital or may gamot man lang kung may sakit, how to make ends meet, paano siguraduhin na kung part-time yung trabaho, magkasya. Pag hindi part-time yung trabaho, siguraduhin na hindi magsara yung kumpanya o yung maliit na negosyo. People are thinking about the future of the country, but the reality is we act as individuals and as families and as communities before we act as a nation. Madaming umaasa sa leadership change na to sa pagdating ng direksyon ng ating bansa. So we can keep talking about Senator Bato. And 100%, I will always owe him for risking his liberty. And after siya habuling kahapon, risking his safety and his life, risking his quality time with his family, risking the many, many things that he can do for being here today. No one can say where he'll be going in the next few days, the next few weeks. I really hope we all realize that the Constitution is the highest law of the land. Me, I follow the Bible, then the Constitution. So walang anumang bansa ang inuuna ang international court sa kanilang sariling konstitusyon. Kahit anong treaty po, sabi po sa Pangilinan versus Cayetano Supreme Court case na kapag kayong treaty o nilalaman nito o implementation nito, I'm paraphrasing, is unconstitutional, ang masusunod yung Constitution, hindi po yung batas. So putting that aside, putting aside, like everyone else, I am tempted to talk about politics or to talk about Senator Bato. When we talk about corruption, partly it is about politics because the mishandling of the flood control scam, and when I say mishandling, I'm talking in general, whether you talk about the ICC, whether you talk about the whole of government, whether you talk about the DPWH, whether you talk about the Blue Ribbon Committee, even myself, even my participation in any of this investigation or non-participation, nilalahat ko na. We all mishandled it for many reasons. We didn't start with the truth. We didn't start with sino ang most guilty, ano ba talaga ang ghost, ano po ang hindi, etc. But the point is, Mr. President, Madam President, napakalaki ng issue na to in terms of amount and in terms of time and saan na ilagay. To give you a perspective, 50 billion lang ang budget ng DPWH in the last year of President GMA. But I think last year, 2025, kung na-release lahat, I think 2024, lumampas ng 1 trillion sa pesos sa DPWH alone. Pero hindi totoo na lahat ng flood control ay ghost. At hindi totoo na binulsa ang buong 1 trillion pesos or binulsa ang buong 350 billion. Pero yun ang tumatak. And the problem is, any Tom, Dick, and Harry na barangay captain, konsihal, mayor, congressman, even senators, administration, opposition, pag merong kang isang contractor dun sa lugar na yon, nakasama sa listahan, ang target hindi the truth Ang target, dumihan yung kalaban. So, I remember from the start of my career, yung nagsasabi sa akin, pag naglabang kayo sa putikan, lahat kayo mapuputikan. No, you cannot get in the mud to fight someone and then siguro si Bato mukha ni Mr. Clean. But for the rest of us, when we're in the mud, di ba? The reality is madudumihan tayo. And the problem there, the context that I want to say is that during a crisis, we have a global crisis, energy crisis, crisis of inflation, crisis of faith in government, crisis in international law with what the US, Iran and its allies, US and Israel are doing. The rule of law is being debated all around the world. Even Europe, the oldest allies of the US, many of the principles is being thrown out of the window every day. So there are several crises ongoing. Kung titignan lang natin from a political lens yung corruption, sabi natin political lang yan, partially true. Maraming gumamit ng flood control para tirahin lang yung kalaban. At the proper time siguro po, we'll go to that, but I don't want this to be a political speech. But look at it from a social, economic, and moral lens. From an economic lens, we did not only mishandle the investigation, but what to do when we found out of all this corruption. So government spending is so important to our GDP and productivity of our country, nag-slow down to. Until today po, hindi masyadong nagre-release ang DBM at nahihirapan pa rin ang DPWH at yung ibang ahensya na mag-bid. Maraming dahilan yan. Ito ho problema. Dalawa harapin natin. Tag-ulan, so malamang maraming baha na dadating. And wala naman nagbago since the flood control scam So malamang marami tayong baha. God forbid, sana hindi. But ang problema towards the end of the year, opposite naman ang problema. Meron daw po tayong super El Nino. So sobrang init at walang tubig, apektado naman ang ating agriculture. I hope all the predictions about the calamity and the state of our economy will be wrong. I hope it will be very, very much rosy. But if you look at the GDP projections, for example, since the last quarter last year, 50% off So pag sinabing 5%, 2.5%. Pag sinabing 6%, 3% lang. Ang layo. And the GDP might look like, a highfalutin economic term, and I'd rather use presyo, trabaho, kita. Masyado ba mataas ang presyo na hindi natin mabili yung dapat natin bilhin? Maliit ba masyado ang kita na hindi pa rin natin pwedeng bilhin yung gusto natin bilhin kahit mababa ang presyo? And trabaho. May trabaho ba ang tao? And not only trabaho na kumikita ang tao, but trabaho ba na may dignidad? So from an economic lens, corruption affects our everyday problems. And I think during the times that we talk about big scandals in our country, corruption scandals, suddenly, hindi lang presyo, trabaho at kita, hindi lang PTK, may isa pang K or C if English ang gagamitin natin, corruption. So right now, I feel that on the mind of every mother, of every father, of every lolo, lola, is the basics, health, education, pagkain, kuryente. Of course, sa mga highly urbanized, it's the internet, no? Food prices are steadily rising. Unfortunately, it seems that the 7% inflation rate is here to stay. Hindi mawawala yon. So just put it simply, kung kumikita ka ng 100 pesos in the year, 93 pesos lang ang halaga ng pera mo kasi 7% yung inflation. I mean, you can argue with me about the math, pero simplihan lang natin, di ba? If you have 1,000 pesos, 930 na lang yan. If you have 10,000 pesos, 9,300. So hindi masyado tumataas ang minimum wage at ang sahod sa ating bansa. Pero yung presyo ng bilihin, at least 7%. Yun ang problema natin sa food prices. Bakit po? Hindi naman po lahat sa inflation rate ay food prices, although most of it is food prices. So food is rising even higher than 7%. We are an archipelago where we lack fish. Hindi tayo makapagpangisda. I mean, I know Senator Pangilinan spoke much about this and many other senators in the past, but that's a reality now. Hindi natin makalimutan yung mga ka-age ko na ang isang kampanya po ni Madam President Cory Aquino noon is magkano ang presyo ng galunggong at that time in 1986. And short time after that, or sometime after that, nag-i-import na tayo ng galunggong. Ngayon po, luxury na po ang galunggong. In fact, nung araw sabi sa amin, may asin ka lang, o I remember yung kwento ng aming dating Vice Mayor, may kapitbahay siya na may mga shell ng kuhol. So gagataan nila yon at libre pa naman ang kangkong nung araw. Pagkatapos nila gataan at kainin yon, ibibilad nila yung shell. Bakit po? Kasi pag hiniram nung kapitbahay yung shell, gagataan ulit dahil ang kailangan mo lang ay yung gata at saka yung kangkong, tapos yun ang ulam sa kain. But we know in the last 10 years, pati kanin naging luxury na. Kaya nga may makikita kang pamilya ng 4, 5, 6, 7, isang noodles na hati-hati na. Of course, we did not ignore that. We have passed many laws making sure that we fortify even the noodles. We have kahapon, Senator Tulfo, yung AIX law. We have many interventions, no? But this crisis that we are facing, hindi natin ramdam kaagad dito sa Senate kasi air condition, kasi kahit papano mataas ang sweldo. 'Di ba? Ang unang nakaramdam nito, mga tricycle driver, jeepney driver, yung mga naka-diesel. Pero nabigyan isang beses ng ayuda, that doesn't mean okay na sila. Kasi pababa ng pababa yung kanilang kita. More than 70 days after February 28, the economic slowdown is now affecting our investment level. Even the sentiment, nagdadahan-dahan na. And even yung mga sigurado, katulad halimbawa ng mga pharmaceuticals, medyo wala kailangan mo talaga bumili ng gamot kung may sakit ka. But most of our medicine is imported. And even those that are generic and are produced in the Philippines, to get them through Metro Manila with the traffic and the logistic costs have doubled. Not to mention if you have to bring it to Masbate, you have to bring it to Aklan, to Catanduanes, to Romblon. The logistics in Mindanao or even Batanes is incredible because again, apektado tong lahat. The prices of gas was expected to go back to normal during the first few days of the crisis. Unfortunately, tinamaan yung critical infrastructure. So halimbawa po, sa Qatar at Bahrain, nung tinamaan po ang natural gas, ang subproduct or yung byproduct ng natural gas is urea or yung pangunahing ingredient or ginagamit na fertilizer. So tatlo kagad yung tama. Bakit? Europe uses liquefied gas or natural gas for heating. So tumaas ang presyo ng diesel dahil yun ang kapalit. Tapos nung tinamaan yung production ng yung mismong planta ng urea, tumaas ngayon yung presyo ng fertilizer. India, who has the best processing plants or one of the best and supplies to us and to Asia, ang problema, they have more than 1.4 billion people. And they also use heating gas, they also use diesel, they also use urea, and they are the first to say, we will not export rice, we will not export fertilizer unless our needs are there. So I thank the Vietnamese government for continuing to help us by the supply of rice. In a recent survey, only 10% of people believe that government, so hindi lang po to hindi lang to Office of President, Vice President, Senate, House, local governments, although ang tingin ko kung magsa-survey tayo, mas mabango ang mga local governments kasi sila ang frontline. Only 10% of people believe that we are actually addressing the high prices of even the basic goods. 90% says that inflation, wages, 95% says that all of these are serious issues. 75% says that corruption has increased in the last 12 months. No, not only that we're not addressing it properly. So once we think that corruption is a way of life, I will go. So I went to the political, talking about the economic. I will now go to the social and the spiritual. Once we start believing na hindi natin to kaya, once na naniwala tayong bahala na, once na sinabi natin, hindi, corruption, hindi natin matatanggal yan, it's our soul that gets damaged. We start believing that values can be changed. We start believing that, konting corruption, okay na rin yan, etc. Economically, there are empirical facts that some nations, certain level of corruption did not affect their corruption. The corruption did not affect their economics, but it did affect their soul, and eventually it affected not only their economics, but their being one nation. In the